Manila Archbishop Luis Antonio Cardinal Tagle has a message from the Pope. He tells us now via a recent interview with our chief correspondent, Pia Ontiveros.
Filipinos love Christmas. We skip the Advent part of the season and jump right into Christmas Eve, Noche Buena, and the gift giving. But Cardinal Chito Tagle has a gentle reminder for all of us, for those of us who don't know that Advent means waiting.
Sabi nga in the gospel, your heart must be awake so that when He comes, you will be ready to welcome Him.
What does it mean to be awake?
Oh, different ways of being awake. Maybe it's good first to dwell on what type of spiritual slumber, what type of spiritual sleepiness or even laziness, can block us from being awake. There are many. For example, being callous in heart. My heart is not anymore moved by misery or the needs of other people. My repeated or my lifestyle of being sinful.
In a sense, it is a double Advent. While we wait for Christmas, we also wait for Pope Francis, who will pay us a visit in January. But Cardinal Tagle said the Pope wants Jesus and not him to be the focus of his pastoral visit.
It is a good Advent message na coincide naman His coming and the preparation for Christmas. And He wants us to focus on Jesus, whose mercy and compassion He hopes to bring.
Tagle himself is a humble, unassuming man who, as bishop in Cavite, would take the tricycle or the bus to work sometimes. When Chito Tagle was made a cardinal in November 2012, Vatican journalists and observers had taken notice of him. John Allen Jr., for one, described Tagle as a widely considered rising star. In the synod before he became a cardinal, Tagle called for a simpler, humbler church. Earlier this year, when I interviewed Allen, who was on a visit to Manila, he had this much to say about the young Filipino cardinal.
Tagle was Francis before Francis was Francis.
As the conclave began in March 2013 to elect a successor to Benedict XVI, there was talk about Tagle, or a cardinal from Asia, becoming pope. But Tagle wouldn't hear of it. The most the hype did, he said, was to help OFWs in Italy get a little more respect from their employers.
But sa totoo lang, natatawa lang ako eh.
Natatawa?
Natatawa lang ako. Ganyan. Ay, kasi first of all, I know myself. And then, and also, at that time, 2 buwan pa lang akong cardinal eh. Sabi ko, naku, God will not take me seriously. And I'm also clear. My mission as a cardinal entering the conclave was to participate in the election of a new pope and not to seek election.
Today, Tagle prefers to talk about the theme of Pope Francis's visit, mercy and compassion. He likes to tell the story of an old Jesuit priest, Father Schumacher, who once was his teacher, and what the Jesuit said when he paid him a visit before his death. Tagle said Schumacher had become emotional and would cry when people would visit him.
I went to his side and started stroking his hand. And then the sobbing subsided. And then he looked at me and said, "Oh, Chito, you used to sleep in my class." Ako, nagulat ako. Wow, ang daming matatandaan. Yun lang ang natandaan ni Father.
Pero pumasa pa rin kayo at ngayon cardinal kayo.
At yun ang sabi niya, you used to speak in my class. And then he said, but look at you, Chito, you are now a cardinal. Pero napapatanong ako, no? Yeah, I could not boast of like achievements and everything, that I was always awake in class, that I was always alert, or all those things. No, I knew very well, and other people knew, like Father Schumacher, my limitations. No, pero bakit nga ba ako naging pare? Paano ako naging bishop? And now I'm a cardinal. Kaya nga ako na kasi yeah, I'm a product of mercy.
Of mercy.
No, without God's mercy, without God's compassion, who am I?
Tagle also tells the story of the parable of the Good Shepherd who leaves the 99 sheep to look for one that is lost, and how it tells of compassion.
Once in a while, we see someone like that. Parang nahihiwalay doon sa 99, no? And parang sore thumb siya or what? Or yun yung expression, parang black sheep. No? At kuminsan napapagalitan pa natin lalo eh. No? And we don't realize, maybe the person cannot come home. Maybe the person needs to be carried. Maybe the person cannot come home because the person is lost. Maybe he had to be guided to be able to come home. That's compassion. That's mercy.
But the Cardinal speaks most about grace.
In the Bible, grace is not something. It is someone. Someone who, because of love, gives not something, but himself. And grace is God. God present in us. God who will run towards us. God who walks before us, behind us, above us, everything, you know. And the God who will probably be the only one left when nothing else is there. But when you understand grace that way, then all the other words enter. Forgiveness, mercy, compassion, solidarity.
Grace is mercy and compassion. Grace is pananagutan.
Walang sinuman ang nabubuhay para sa sarili lamang. Walang sinuman ang namamatay para sa sarili lamang. Tayong lahat ay may pananagutan sa isa't isa. Tayong lahat ay tinipon ng Diyos na kapiling niya.
Pia Ontiveros, 9 News.